Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
Take a picture of our home studio.
All right, buddy, we're going to start it in 2 minutes. We got a little late start here, but we're going to start it up in 2 minutes. Got a great show planned for today. I hear myself in my headphones. It's typical. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. We got 1 minute before we get rolling. 1 minute. Testing 1 2. Christy, show sound good? I mean, sound good? Sound good? Testing 1 2. Okay, less than a minute. We're going to get rolling. Less than a minute. As soon as she shows up from wherever she went. Testing 1 2 3 4 1 2. For some reason 1 didn't work, but 3 works. You ready? All right, stand by, Steve. Everything is working properly now. I'm just going to share this on our Facebook page. I can see. I can't even see that far. Let me share it. Talk to the people here while I figure it out.
Good morning, everybody.
There you are.
Glad to be back on a Saturday.
That's all you can do?
Well, how is everybody out there while he's fiddling around with this?
All I'm trying to do is share our page, and it will not share to my regular page. See what I'm saying? Because I think this is important enough to have on my regular page, but
Well,
it will not share.
Just put it up on our page and be happy with it.
Yeah.
I can't see the comments because he's blocking them, but let's see. Good morning, Mary Ellen.
Nobody can. I don't know why I can't share it on my own page. This is dumb. Today's dumb. All right, everybody, here we go. You ready, dear?
This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Live from Peach Time Out in the heart of Times Square. You're listening to Beach Talk Radio with Kim and Ed Ryan.
And hello, everybody. And welcome to Beach Talk Radio, episode number 107. Today is Saturday, April the 4th, 2020. And we are broadcasting live from our home studio, which is really where everyone else should be. They should all be in their home studio. So here's an update from last night in case you're in a news blackout like the mayor has been. Keep in mind for perspective that 1 month ago, there were less than 10 cases in the entire state of Florida, 10 cases of coronavirus. Yesterday alone, 26 people in Florida died from coronavirus. That followed the worst day, Thursday, when 43 people died. In all, 170 Floridians have died from the coronavirus. As of last night, there were more than 10,000 people with the virus. That total comes one day after Governor DeSantis issued the stay-at-home order. Between Thursday and Friday, an additional 1,260 positive cases were reported. In Florida, the highest number of cases are in the age range of, take a guess,
65 and older.
45 to 54. That's followed by 55 to 64 and 25 to 34. In Lee County, there are now 304 positive cases, 155 men, 147 women. 11 people have died in Lee County. 55 are still in the hospital. And the CDC now recommends everyone start wearing masks to stop the spread. And Walmart is limiting the number of shoppers in its stores to 5 customers for each 1,000 square feet. That's 20% of a store's capacity. On the beach, the latest move was for the town council to ban reservations for hotels, rentals, wherever you would make plans to come to Fort Myers Beach for the next 90 days. And they say they'll revisit that every 30 days. Are you ready?
I'm ready, but you're yelling.
Am I
and
yelling?
We are in our backyard. Yeah, take your headphones
Wonder what the
off.
neighbors think.
I know.
All right, let's see.
They
Oh,
just start
what
yelling
happened to
at you.
Steve? Steve is out of the box. All right, he'll get back in here. So we're going to talk to Steve Phillips. He's a certified public accountant, and Steve has all the details on what businesses need to do to apply for loans. And we were talking a little bit before the show, and it's quite confusing.
It is quite confusing. And I thought we were going to be able to ask him too if he had any suggestions for people personally too, because we also are going to be having Dwayne on from the Small Business Association and to talk about all of the stuff that they offer down there as well for
Right.
businesses.
Can you guys hear me?
Hey, welcome
he
to
is.
the show. Can you hear us okay now, Steve? Oh, he can't hear us now. Isn't that strange? He's gonna.
We hear you.
Yeah, we heard him fine. And can you hear us okay now, Steve? All right, he's going to try and reboot, I guess. So what is Dwayne going to talk about when we have him on at like 9:30?
So Dwayne is from the Small Business Development Center at FGCU.
Go ahead.
And
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Can
And
you hear us?
He's coming on at about 9:30. Can you hear us? Can you hear us? Can you hear us? All right, why don't you try and reboot it again? Try and reboot it like you did before, and we'll give it one more shot. You know, it's funny. We had him on earlier.
To be honest, yes, to be fair to Ed, because I always am kind of harsh on him, but he did practice this.
We
and
tested it
then
out. Yeah.
When you left, I got it working, and now you're back,
Yeah.
and it's not working.
That's not in defense of me in any way. It's completely the opposite of in defense of me. So
I just don't know if it's bad juju for you. So yes, so he'll be coming on. We used the SBA. We used their services when we started the gym, and some friends of mine have also used those services. So that'll be interesting when he comes on.
yeah, there are a lot
At
of
9:30.
rules. I know the government's trying to turn this. The federal government's trying to turn this around quickly, but there are a lot of rules that you have to follow in order to get the money and what you need to use it for, so you don't have to pay it back. So let's see if we can. Can you hear us now?
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
All right, perfect. Yeah, a little
Yeah.
here and there.
Technology's fun. We'll get
Yeah.
there.
So, Steve, first for background, give everybody that's watching and listening an idea of what you do and how long you've been in business.
So I've been in business for this gyration for 10 years. I'm a CPA for 23 years. I'm the managing partner of CCG CPAs. We have offices in Fort Myers and Naples. We do tax, accounting, financial planning. We specialize in a lot of small business owners trying to help everybody get through these crazy times.
And so the involvement that you have in this government $1 trillion plan is what? People come to you for advice on what they need to do, correct?
Yeah. Everybody's coming to me for advice for various reasons. One, it's very confusing. Two, it's changed a lot of the tax laws going forward. And, we're usually that trusted advisor for those clients, trying to see what opportunities out there. And some of this is driven by change in tax codes. Some of this is driven by loans.
So the first step for somebody that owns a business that's looking for some financial relief is what? Where do they go?
So the first thing that you got to do is obviously talk to their accountant and their banker. So all the SBA loans, there's three primary loans. There's an economic injury disaster loan, there's paycheck protection program, and then there's Florida's economic disaster loan. So the paycheck protection program is being handled through the banks. You're going to have to provide payroll documentation and apply for the loan online. And this is the one that most people are excited about. It's all about, hey, can we get forgiveness for possibly 8 weeks of payroll? That's the one that everybody is running to the bank and begging and pleading to get, because they are concerned it may run out. The economic injury disaster loan is more of just a general loan from the SBA. It still has to be supported by lost revenue, payroll, other expenses. And the first 10,000 can be forgiven as part of the grant. But there's a lot of confusion out there. The other loan that's out there is really an emergency disaster loan through the state of Florida, which is $50,000. And you have to prove that there's economic loss or stuff. And in this economy, with everything going on, that's not that hard for most people.
Right. So the paycheck, let's talk about the employees first. I know there's been some issues with people even getting through the unemployment number. Is there a trick to that?
No, I haven't heard any trick. Try early and often. I've helped a couple of clients try to log in, and it's just do it at odd hours in the morning. There's well-documented issues with the website. Just be patient and apply. That's all I can tell everybody. Patience.
Go ahead.
I mean, patience is there. We have to understand that literally this law was passed a week ago Friday, and normally some of the stuff takes months to get out and clarification. I mean, we got and I want a big caveat. Literally through this conversation, there may have been more guidance delivered that I don't even know about. It's changing as we speak. Thursday at 10 o'clock, the SBA gave some additional guidance on the Paycheck Protection Program. So be patient. The programs will be available. Work with your bankers to be expedited as quick as possible. But understand, most of the professionals are still learning. I've spent most of the last 2 weeks talking to clients, talking to the banks, with my relationship with the different banks, and listen, I'm a business owner too. I have 11 people working for me. This is important to me. So not only for me, but for my clients, because they allow me to have a paycheck.
So Steve, if somebody has been trying to apply for unemployment for 2 weeks and hasn't gotten through, will they be paid like in arrears? Will they get those 2 weeks if they ever get through?
Yes, they should get retroactive back to when it was done.
Did I say that wrong? Was that the wrong word?
I mean, retroactive.
Isn't that backwards? Arrears?
Arrears is, yeah. I mean,
yeah, it is arrears.
Mark me like that.
So for
people, ask the intelligent questions.
No. So for people who apply for unemployment who haven't done it before, what are some of the rules and regulations of who qualifies and who may not? Because I think there's some gray areas for people. And
well, you have to have been an employee. You have to be laid off. You have to go on the website. You have to apply. In the past, you had to prove that you were looking for work. That I don't believe is going to be an issue in this economy. I believe the governor's waived that. I'm not sure positively. The biggest issue that I've heard is with the most recent law, there is an additional, I believe it's $600 a week that the government's going to subsidize. The federal government's going to subsidize for the states above and normal what the normal Florida unemployment rate is. The states have had notorious problems with implementing that. It's just be patient. The money will be there. This is going to be like anything, persistence. If you keep at it, you will get your money. If you don't and get frustrated, you won't.
So Steve, if a business owner wants to take advantage of paying their employees, like you mentioned, but a lot of the waitresses and is that the right word for it? servers, sorry,
service workers.
make like $1.50 an hour plus tips. So if if those checks that they get from the government funded grant or whatever it's called is less than unemployment, why bother?
That's a fair question. That's actually, I believe Senator Graham brought that up. That's a big issue in this economy because, especially for the service people, unemployment may be palatable. And I've heard that from a number of restaurant owners. They're concerned on the back end as they won't be able to get their staff back.
So, so you got all these websites. What if you were advising businesses? What would you tell them? Go to this one first. It's coming quicker, or this is more advantageous to you because it'll help you out because you're closed.
So simplistically, for the Paycheck Protection Program, you need to contact the bank you primarily do business with. Find your banking relationship. Most of them, as of I think last night, most of the banks have created websites, links to apply for. If you have relationships with the banks, I've talked to 3 or 4 banks that I have relationships with, and they've been extremely helpful. My banker has been spectacular. And I've worked with a couple other banks. Talk to your professionals that are in, it's just been chaos to say the least, and be patient.
Yeah, I would echo that statement because I was at the bank the other day, had to make an appointment. They only let me in to do some other banking thing, but she was extremely busy, she said, with all the SBA loans and all of that stuff going on. And while I was sitting there, the phone was just ringing off the hook. So, she echoed that statement of please be patient. Yeah. They want to help everybody, but it's a big influx for them as well.
6.6 million people applied for unemployment over the last couple weeks. Yeah. So I just got a text from one of my coworkers. Their wife was able to log in this morning. So, okay. Pick the times. I would say if you're an early morning riser, do it early in the morning. If you're a late nighter, do it late night. But it's going to be challenged, and be patient.
You apologize to the servers out there. They don't make $1.50 an hour. I was corrected. No. I was joking. She makes $1.50 an hour doing this show, but I know they make more than that. Sorry, Debbie. So the $1,200 checks. When are we getting ours?
So as of last night, I think the Treasury Secretary said he's hoping to have it out in 2 weeks. Yeah. So same thing. So a couple things. You should have. If you haven't filed your 2019 return, don't worry about it. They're going to go after off the 2018 return. Sorry. If you never filed a 2018 return, you will have to file something with the IRS in order to get the stimulus check. The IRS, literally, I checked their website this morning. They were talking about setting up a portal to basically track refunds, where they went, if direct deposit issues and things to that extent. For those some of the older population who just get Social Security aren't required to file, the talk is they're going to go off your Social Security statements and wherever that gets direct deposited. But same thing, literally passed a week ago. They are hoping to have checks out by mid-April.
All right. And now on that note, the filing for taxes now has been moved.
July 15th.
Right. So it doesn't matter if you haven't filed this year, 2019, you can still get it.
Yes. So they will go off the 2018 return. If you haven't filed, you have until July 15th now, and you have till July 15th to make your payments for the prior year. So the only issue this becomes is if you made less than 19, and it's $75,000 for individual, and there's some phase out, and $150,000 for couples. So
anybody watching this show is worrying about those high numbers, maybe, but if they are, we don't really know about it. There's a question for you right there, Steve, that I think is a pretty good one. What about independent contractors?
So Nina, what your independent contractors for unemployment? I'm not aware of anything right now. I know there's been talk about it. So what's your for independent contractors?
Like, do they are they able to file for unemployment? Are they going to get a $1,200 check?
So they'll still get the $1,200 check based on their income. Unemployment, I have not heard anything. I know there's been talk. This is where a lot of the guidance has come. I believe Congress tried to take some of the new economy people into place, and the regulations have been all over on this. So I expect this to kind of continually be fluid and evolving.
Now, when you say when he says $1,200 check, is it based on is it based on your income? How is that?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not like
So-
everybody's getting the same amount.
No.
Okay.
So if you made less than 75,000 as an individual, it's $1,200 plus, I believe, $600 per kid under 16 and under.
So go ahead.
So if you made less than 75,000, you'll get your $1,200 check. If you have kids, minor kids, you'll get additional. If you made more than 150, there's actually a phase out period. So there's different calculations going to effect.
So did you say like a joint family, a husband and wife, even if they don't really get along well, do they still get the two checks? 2,400?
Yes. I believe it'll go into one account.
Okay.
Sorry, Ed.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
So Kim will get $2,400.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted to ask you this: mortgages. Are you recommending to the people that you do business with to call their mortgage company, their bank, and say, "Listen, I need a deferral of 1 month, 2 months, or try and rework a deal"? Or what's the best plan for that right now? Because those are big bills.
So the answer is, I would talk to your bankers. I have heard stories of different banks offering deals, but it's going to be on a case-by-case situation. In this economy, I don't want to speak for the banks, but my experience is most people, they don't want to foreclose. They've suspended all foreclosures.
Right.
So best to work with the bank, your mortgage banker, and be in touch. I've heard of landlords for business owners working with landlords to make sure that everything's abated or forgiven or reduced. It's across the economy. I'm one of the blessed people that I can actually work from home, and we've been able to go to social contact and different things, and able to keep working and keep servicing my clients. A lot of people aren't.
So
it's across the board.
For individuals who, may experience some difficult times coming up with waiting for unemployment to come in and they've lost their income and they're kind of in this gap period, people I would think who have credit cards are going to, start using them to cover the necessities of life. Would you suggest, them calling their credit card companies to negotiate a lower rate, or because those are going to be big bills to pay too?
Yeah, a lot of the credit cards have been working with people. You just got to talk to your creditors. Some will be forgiving, some not. You gotta just work with them.
Sorry, I keep interrupting them. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And then you forget your question. Go ahead, Steve. Continue.
Sorry. No, you just got to keep working with your creditors. We have, as a business owner, I've got creditors all the way to the extent I can pay. With something like a mortgage, it's a question. And having gone through this with the hurricanes and things, typically they'll add the payments on the back end.
Okay.
So the payments don't go away. So it just becomes a question of who do you want to pay in what order and what do you have available?
Hey, do me a favor. Tell your dad to stop starting fights in the chat box over Trump. He just loves to get in there and rile things up over Trump. So how do you think the Florida government has handled the entire situation, Steve?
It's been challenging across the board. I haven't, I will say this, not to speak of Florida per se, but I will say that the stimulus package is the first one I've seen that actually has opportunities for small business owners. Meaning, I have yet to see in my 20 some odd years experience, there's a lot of benefits in for small business owners that I've never seen before. Even if you're not able for some of the Paycheck Protection Program and you keep your people, you will be eligible for payroll tax credits. When you file your 2020 return, which doesn't help today, but will help tomorrow.
Mhm.
If you have retirement plans, you can take distributions up to 100,000, not subject to the 10% penalty, and defer the taxes for 3 years. So this is where you really need to be working with professionals on your individual circumstances to see what's right for you.
And in
Yeah.
regards to independent contractors, and I remember this from a long time ago, those folks really want to, I mean, they should be have already looked at being an LLC or some sort of protected structure rather than sole proprietor in case
Yeah.
the bottom does fall out.
Well, I mean, I think like everything, you need to, you need to work with professionals. You need to save. It goes back to the things my grandparents taught me. We got to save. We got to put money away for rainy days, because I could have never predicted this one. But if it wasn't this, it was going to be something else. I mean, you just have to save 20% of your income, or a good portion. Put money away so that you can weather these tough times.
All right. Steve, hang on for 1 second. We're going to pop up our second guest here and see if we can get you both on there at the same time.
Good morning. We are joined today by Dwayne Hoverston.
That's correct.
All right. From the SBDC Small Business Development Center at FGCU. Welcome, Dwayne, and thanks for coming on today.
Happy to be here.
So, Dwayne, one of the first things that I saw that concerned you was you were doing some webinars for some folks, right? I mean, I got the email from the Chamber of Commerce on the beach that you were doing some webinars. What were those about?
We have a series of different webinars that we put together, things like how to survive this downturn, or when things are bad like this, how to go on and file, what things to actually do in your business during a time like this. So again, these webinars were meant for the general public so that they would have some ideas of what they should or shouldn't do during these times with their business.
And to let everybody know, the services at the Small Business Development Center, and you guys have you guys have been there a long time.
Yep.
Providing businesses, and those are resources that are free to people. Is that correct?
That is correct. There is no charge for our services, and not only do we help people in times like this when there is, a disaster, but we're there all the time to help people, whether it be marketing or their accounting or a business plan or getting cash in their business. We're there to help anytime. And again, there is no cost for our services.
Steve, before we let you go, any final thoughts, Steve, for businesses out there before we let you go?
Sorry. No, I mean, I would just, like I said, work with your professionals, make sure that everything is, contact, be patient. This money will get out. I can tell you, I work with a lot of banks, and, the Small Business Development Center is great. I've had clients work with them. Be patient. The answers are coming. I can tell you, I know a lot more today than I did a week ago. And if I can be of any help to any, feel free to reach out to me.
All right, and we have your website, so we'll pop it up there and make sure everybody can see it as well. Thanks a lot, Steve, and have a great weekend.
Perfect. Take
Thank
care,
you.
guys. I'll talk to you guys.
All right. Steve Phillips, folks. I am going to pop his website up on our Facebook page so you can contact him if you have any other questions about what he talked about in the first half hour.
Right. And I wanted to say, I saw startling, I would say, information on your website. It was that 40% of businesses are forced to close because of a disaster and never reopen. And that's not just this disaster, but including other disasters. So what sort of business continuation services are offered at the SBA where you are?
Okay. Again, there are programs out there, as you well know and have heard on internet and TV and so on that the SBA is putting out there for helping businesses through this. There is the EIDL loan program, the Economic Disaster Loan Program, where a business can apply, and they've really simplified the application in the last 3-4 days. It takes maybe 10 or 15 minutes to fill it out now. It used to take a couple hours and you had to get all kinds of data together. Now you can actually do it in about 15 minutes. So it's really simplified for that plan. And that's a disaster plan that's been used for the red tide and the hurricanes and so on. But again, very, very streamlined right now. And there's
go ahead.
Then there's the payroll protection plan that has just come out, and supposedly you could start applying yesterday. There's many banks that still aren't ready. They haven't got their stuff together. The SBA just came out with it the night before, but kind of frustrating in that it's not ready to totally roll out. But most banks have promised by Monday they will be able to take those applications. This is a really super program in that the business can borrow up to 2.5 months their average monthly salary, and it will totally be forgiven. So it can really keep employees employed. I don't care if they're cleaning the rooms and painting or whatever, but you can at least keep them on and pay them and have that money totally forgiven. So that's a huge, huge deal.
Dwayne, do you recommend that the businesses go for that? I know there's trouble for people. We were talking about this earlier, getting unemployment because they can't get through the website. Is it best for the employer to go for that $10,000 and not worry about it and just pay them? Is that what you're recommending? Because you can't have both, right? Or can you have both?
Yes. Oh, yeah. First of all, that EIDL program, if you apply, supposedly within 3 days that you can check a box and you will get $10,000 right away.
Oh,
that's just part of it. And then they actually do the loan part. Now, we haven't seen anybody get the money yet in 3 days, but I'm expecting, 5 to 10, that they will actually see that $10,000 if they check the box on their application. Then what the government or the SBA has is some type of formula where they're looking at the sales from the previous year and their cost of goods, and they're going to figure out some formula that they can borrow X amount of dollars, up to several $1 million on this loan. And the interest will be 3.75% for these businesses borrowing that money, but it'll take probably a month to 6 weeks to get that money. The other thing that,
go ahead.
The other thing that's happening out there that maybe a lot of people don't know is if you have an SBA loan now, maybe you have a loan on your building through SBA or a disaster loan from one of the past disasters, SBA is paying your payments till I believe it's the end of the year. So, any of those people that have been through like red tide and Irma and so on and have a loan for that, their payments for the next number of months are totally being paid by the SBA. So it's really, really another help to these businesses, especially in our area down here where we've had our share of disasters.
Wow. So to recap, businesses can apply for both of those programs. One is a loan and one is the possibility that it would be forgiven. So it's two separate.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. There is one more thing also, the Florida has a bridge loan for these businesses also that's out there where they can get up to $50,000 that has been available. We feel that anybody that has not applied yet, they may run out of money before they get through all their applications. So if you haven't applied, You might try applying now, but I wouldn't have a lot of hope that there's going to be enough money unless the Florida legislature gives us a bunch more money. So again, it's out there, but again, I don't know that you might be too late.
Now, you guys offer also assistance if people have trouble. I know you said the form is now easier, but if people need assistance applying,
Yes.
That's one of the services that's provided there.
Yes, I get a number of calls now all day long of people come to a question, what is cost of goods, or different things on the form. Yes, we're here. All of our consultants are up to speed on this now. So we have been meeting so that we all have the same answers for the questions that are coming up. But yes, if they get to us now, it has been a little tough because about every 2-3 days, the forms have been changing. It's tough for us to keep up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we don't get a direct line to the SBA on that stuff. They just don't let us know.
Dwayne, with a lot of businesses not having any revenue come in, any sales because they're closed, and now they have to borrow money, and some is going to be forgiven, and other loans they're going to have to pay back, and who knows what the interest rate is? Maybe it's out there, and I don't know. What worries you the most about businesses being able to actually survive and come back in business and not be burdened by all these extra bills, which was no fault of their own?
Again, there are a number of businesses that won't make it, but from my experience here in the past number of disasters down here, I haven't seen 40% of these businesses not open again. Our small businesses are pretty resilient. The recession that we had back in 2007, 2008, where the economy dived, we lost a lot of businesses back then. But again, because that was such a long period of time, but the length of time here is critical. If we can get going again, and by the end of May, I think many of these businesses will be able to come back with this relief that we're being given. But again, the period of time is going to be the critical. The longer this stretches out, the more businesses you're going to lose.
And what's the best way to get in contact with you guys? And maybe if people want to sign up and get a coach, how would they go about doing that?
If they just Google Southwest Florida SBDC, they will go to our website. We are hosted at Florida Gulf Coast University, which has been a great partner for us. But if they just Google that, Southwest Florida SBDC, they will go right to our website, and right on the top of it, it says request a counselor. And you just click on that, and you will fill out a very short form, and a counselor will be assigned to you, and you'll hear from them probably within 24 hours.
Before we let Dwayne go, if anyone's got any questions, just type them in the chat box. We can read it. I have to squint, but she can see it without squinting. So if you have any questions, you can type them in the chat box, and we'll make sure that we post all the information that we have. We know when the webinars are if you want to watch those, and we'll get everything on the Facebook page and put it out there. Did you have another question?
Well, I just wanted to, just to briefly tell us about some of the, other services that are offered.
Yeah, I wanted to hit on that again for these businesses that are in this situation, that many times just sitting down with one of us, again, it's going to be like this through Zoom,
Right.
But sitting down with one of us, many times we can give you some ideas of how that business, how they can survive this, and what their best situation is. Is it to close down for a couple weeks, or what might they do? We can give them ideas that maybe they won't get on their own. So I would highly recommend some of those businesses to just contact us and see if we can help them with ideas to survive. Again, other things we can help with are marketing. We have a person who is just a specialist in marketing at our deal. We have a specialist in IT. We have a specialist in government contracting. So we have a bunch of things that we can help these small businesses with above and beyond this disaster.
So Dwayne, the small business community is really what makes the whole country hum. I mean, do you worry that there's not going to be enough money for everyone? Is it first come, first serve, or is there going to be guaranteed money if you had a business and this affected your business, you're going to get something?
I am worried that there won't be enough money unless they probably allocate more money. I think there is a good possibility that we'll run out of money of what they have got assigned now. So I would absolutely tell people to get on there and, get to your bank. And that PPP program, payroll protection program, has to be through your bank. Get to your bank and find out if your bank is doing it. Unfortunately, I had one client go to their bank who is doing it, and because he didn't have a credit card and a loan there, they said he wouldn't qualify at their bank. So don't get discouraged. That isn't an SBA thing. That is a bank thing. So again, contact us and we can tell you how to get around some of this stuff if you run into it. There are going to be, situations you run into with particular banks that we need to get you through.
And the coaches are all certified and credentialed, and
What does that mean? Certified, credentialed at
well,
what?
well, tell us about some of the experience that these, who these people are.
Again, most of our business, our consultants have owned businesses or businesses of themselves or other qualifications. We have one who is a former CPA. Myself, I have owned and started and owned probably a dozen businesses. I've taught small business management at junior college for 20 years. I have been doing this SBDC work part-time for 25 years in Minnesota and here. That's an example of the backgrounds that our consultants have. So all of them are very experienced in different areas of working with small business. And again, we have some experts like government contracting that's their expertise.
So after I ask you this question, John Lala will only have 999 more questions. His question is, loans are not collateral or personally guaranteed. What is the penalty if a business fails regardless?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't see that there's going to be much of a problem. Yeah, there is no collateral, and I believe the number is up to 200,000 that you borrow. There is no personal guarantee or collateral needed. I can't see that the SBA is going to do anything because, again, a good chunk of this money is just being given away anyway. So I can't imagine, but that's my opinion. I can't imagine them, being very difficult to work with if a business goes under.
On a personal note, not personal, I'm not going to ask you a personal question. I didn't mean that, but are you talking to people about their mortgages? Are you trying to say to them, hey, call your mortgage company and try and get that deferred? I mean, it's every penny right now.
Yeah, we're telling them to talk to their landlords, talk to everybody you owe money to. If you know that there's going to be a problem, it is important to reach out to those people and talk to them. Again, one of the worst things that somebody owes you money is if they don't talk to you. So it's really important that if you know you're going to have a problem with some of these payments, talk to the people. And I think you're going to find people are really, really willing to work with you. I have one business owner who owns a bunch of property, and he's going to be applying for a loan, but he says, I don't care if these people don't pay me right now. I understand. I'm going to work with them any way I can so everybody gets through this. I just thought his attitude was tremendous as a landlord.
So I'm sure your office is bonkers. Well, you're not in your office. You're in your home.
Nobody's in an office right now. All of us are working from our homes like this and doing meetings on the phone and Zoom. Again, Zoom is a big tool for us right now.
Everybody, yeah. Mm-hmm. They're even having drinking parties on Zoom now because people can't hang out at happy hour. Who knew?
I know it's good, but again, I'm really confident of most of our small businesses. If this doesn't last, too long, most of them will come back. They've been super resilient through the things they've been through here in the past, and You know, I have a lot of confidence, having been a small business owner myself. Small business owners are very entrepreneurial and find a way.
So, how do you want people to get in touch with you? Like, what's the best way to, get through the maze of wanting to talk to a coach or talk to you or something?
Yeah,
What's
they're
easy?
really not a maze. You just
Okay.
go onto our website, and Southwest Florida SBDC, and you'll get a website, and right on top is request a counselor. Again, would you like my email or anything like that?
Whatever you want to give
And
out, I'm sure
I
it'll be
have
great.
I have the email for sbdc@fgcu.edu, and also we have the phone number 239-745-3700, which we can post
Yeah,
up
we can
there.
put all that up there if that's the correct way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that would be excellent. That will get people to it. But again, contact us, and we can be of a great assistance to many of these people. And if nothing else, someone they can talk to, just to get through this.
So, do you think you'll be wearing a mask when you leave the house now?
I haven't decided. I have had cancer recently and a stem cell transplant, so I'm somewhat
probably
have
should, yeah.
immunity. But I've been trying to get back to Minnesota, and now they've locked down Florida and all the states in between. So I'm going to be sheltering in place here in Florida longer than I thought I was. But
there are worse
again,
places to shelter, I guess, right?
this is a nice place to shelter. I was able to go out and kayak for about an hour yesterday.
Nice.
Can't do that in Minnesota yet.
Nice. And where you are, do you see people adhering to the 6-foot rule? Do you see people not congregating? Do you see people following the rules to try and clamp this down?
Yes and no. We do see situations where you will have people getting together more than they should.
Crazy.
It scares me. Yep. When you see some of these, we just noticed a neighbor a few blocks down from us that there was kind of a party going on there yesterday afternoon, and it's in the community that I'm in. Don't know any results, but we did have one person tested this past week. So again, we know it's close. I would be so careful. I just can't tell people, you need to stay away from other people.
Yeah. I worked during the day covering the radio industry, and somebody at WOR in New York City went to cover the coronavirus stuff in New Rochelle, which is like one of the biggest hotspots in New York. And then a week later, she had a birthday party for her mom, who was 75 years old, and 25 people from the community came. And of course, they were all 75 years old and older, and her mom got it, her dad got it, 2 people died, the next door neighbor died. It was just, I get it that it was at a time early in March where you didn't know that was going to happen. You just thought, hey, I'm just going to go do my job. And then all of a sudden 2 weeks later, it's a major problem. So, I mean, it's not like it's a fake thing. Like, you should be having a party now.
No, you'd be very, very careful with, getting close to people. It's just a period we've got to go through, and you've got to be serious about staying away. And again, like us, we would love to meet with our clients one-on-one, but there's just no way. We can do is Zoom.
Thanks so much for your time, man. We really appreciate it. We'll get all the information out there, and thanks for helping people like that.
If we can help anybody, let us know. That's what we're here for.
Thanks a lot. Have a great weekend,
so
Dwayne.
much.
Thank you.
Okay, Dwayne, why don't you Hoverston. No, I mean, remind everybody where he's from and put that information up there, and we'll wait for Eddie to pop on. He's never on time.
So
but he had some stuff he wanted to talk about.
Well, I before we do that, I do want to say to address some of the comments that
the comments in the comment box,
yes,
not the comments that our guests made. Okay, go ahead.
No, that the information that was provided by Dwayne and the SBDC is in addition to you as a business owner talking obviously to your attorney, to your accountant, and or CPA and your banker. It's one other thing to add if you want to your arsenal to gain more information to move forward, but it is not in place of
Mhm.
the other things that a
You should be doing,
responsible
yeah.
business owner would do. So we're just trying to offer,
Boy,
some
you seem
extra
like you're lecturing
information.
right there. Did you read something I didn't read?
I might have.
Okay, from your dad again?
No. No.
Did your dad cut out the fighting with the Trump fans
Yeah,
on there?
he might have. So the information for that and is sbdc@fgcu.edu
Mhm.
or 239-745-3700. And like I said before, we met with them. I've met with them a couple of times on some different things, and it's a great starting place for someone who decides to do a new business. And that's something that's going to come out of this too. I mean,
Yeah.
I
don't think there are
imagine
going to be too many people launching a new business
not
right now.
not right
Well,
away, but
maybe it's a perfect time. I don't know,
maybe
can
it
you
is.
get some of
I
that
don't
money
know.
if you're
But I
launching a new
think
business?
some of the businesses like Shipped and
Oh, yeah.
Zoom, I mean, all of those,
I was reading this morning that Publix is hiring in the thousands, and Walmart's
Right.
hiring in the thousands, and Amazon's hiring in the thousands. I guess the downside to that is if you take one of those jobs, there you are in a big group of people again.
well, but I think going forward, this may change how people do things for a very long time. So businesses like a grocery delivery service may become a lot more popular because they've had exposure during
Yeah.
this time.
Yeah.
And folks see how useful it is, and economically, if there's more businesses doing it, it's going to get cheaper, more affordable for people to do. And I mean, it's not something I ever used before, but it certainly would be great to do now, and it saves time, and you're not going to get cranky going to the store on
Yeah.
a regular basis, let alone right now. It's obviously for safety reasons.
Right. And we are using Shipped. We just signed up for it thanks to what the mayor told us. And I don't even think we should go to Publix, honestly.
Well, I think you do have to look. I was looking on my Nextdoor app, and there was a lot of talk back and forth about the fees and stuff that go on with the different ones. And so you have to look at the ones that are offered and pick the one that works best. A lot of people like the Walmart one where you just drive up and they put it in your car, and that's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, but now you're right. Now you got to get out into traffic. You got to get out into the crowds.
Well,
and
I know, but it is quite a bit of savings. And I would say
you're always looking for the savings.
Well,
I'm looking for the convenience.
Well, there's going to go on. One of the things to say too is please remember to tip those people. People were making a comment about that.
You see, your dad's in there. I wish your dad would pop on here so that we could discuss. He's an NPR guy, so obviously he's getting all the correct information because he's watching NPR. But I was listening to a doctor who said the reason for the face masks, I know I'm getting off the Publix thing, but the reason for the face masks was because then you don't touch your face. And one of the biggest ways that you're giving yourself is the virus, not giving yourself, but the minute it's on your hands. Somehow somebody sneezed on you, and now it's you're putting it on your face. So I'm first we're going to pop Renee up here and say hello to Renee. Renee, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you
okay.
Hear me?
Yes, we hear you perfectly fine.
You don't have to yell to her
like
to
I'm yelling
the
at her.
beach.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Renee, tell us about the yoga project. Let's do something a little different here. What's going on with the yoga project? I love your shirt, by the way.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So first of all, thank you guys so much for this and all the other podcasts that you guys have been doing. I think it's really helpful. I know that we have been tied in with our bankers because we own small businesses, but we found out a lot of great information today. So thank you guys for all that you're doing for us here on the beach. I appreciate it. So from what the yoga project is doing is, for anybody that doesn't know, the Fort Myers Beach Yoga Project has been around for about 18 months. It was a response to my own personal desire for wanting more yoga here on the beach. And it was sort of one of those things where it was put up or shut up kind of thing. So 18 months ago, we launched the Fort Myers Beach Yoga Project, and we were running face-to-face classes. I had always planned to go online. So I had done a fair amount of research and had done everything sort of that was mentioned before, socked away some funds. So we were about March 13th, we went online with our yoga classes. And so our classes are now being live streamed as well as recorded and posted up there. Right now, all of our content is free. And part of the reason for that is about a third to a half of the people who regularly take my classes year round are the businesses owners here on the beach that currently don't have income. And so I'm not going to charge my community at the same time. This is our service to our community. Because we're online, here's some of the other things that we're able to do that we're super, super excited about. We have a partnership with Bay Oaks. We teach classes at Bay Oaks. And starting on Wednesday, Bay Oaks is going to be hosting a Zoom interactive lecture series. So Wednesdays at noon, we're going to start that. We're going to start it this week. The first one's going to be talking about how to stay healthy, sane, and active during this time when we're all sort of stuck at home. So we have that going on as well. I personally do some consulting and do some webinars and in the wellness space for people, sort of across the country. I travel to them and do wellness retreats. We're doing virtual wellness retreats now. So any of our business owners here on the beach that want to get their employees together and sort of talk about wellness and see people and see the people that we consider our work families, I will set that up for you and run that for you for free as well. So we're doing that. The other thing that I'm super excited about is that as soon as this all ends, I am inviting you to come join me at the Mango Street Inn. The Andres and I are partnering together. We're doing a food, wine, and yoga and meditation retreat for anybody that's here locally. There'll be more information coming out about that shortly. So those are the things that we've got going on. My personal mission is for everybody to get active and stay active in a healthy way. So if anybody needs any help, they can reach out to me through the yoga project, and I'm happy to help them create a home exercise program, figure out how to meditate, help them try yoga, etc.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much for that.
Yeah,
I
that's
know
a lot of stuff.
that is a lot of stuff, and we could all use more stretching
Yeah.
and meditating during this time.
Love
because
meditating. Love it.
No, let's be honest. Meditating is hard. People are like, well, I can't meditate. And I'm like, well, I couldn't run when I first started either, right?
Right.
It's a practice that you have to come back to. And what people are noticing too is the mindfulness that comes with the yoga and the meditation is being recommended by a lot of the top health professionals during this time, because we all have significant stress and anxiety about the situation that we've all found ourselves in. So
Yeah.
I think it's important for us to come together and support each other and figure out how to do that. And if you're looking for resources, I've been posting them on the Fort Myers Beach Yoga Project Facebook page,
yeah.
Instagram page, as well as other trainers that are doing some really amazing stuff. We are really excited. We're going to be uploading. I've got a new instructor that's working with me, Dan. Dan lives really close to the island, and he's going to do some chair yoga for us. So that's going to be coming online really quickly. We're doing some meditation stuff. I have a colleague, actually a friend from high school, who teaches meditation, and he does a 3 times a week regular meditation group meditation on a Facebook Live post, and I've been posting that up, and those are really great if you're newer to meditation, because he teaches this. He's really good at it. Now, the Fort Myers Beach Yoga Project is doing some paid content as well. We have a 30-day. If you're like, okay, I'm going to do this, I want to commit to this, we have a 30-day course that we're launching on Monday that people can join. And just so you know, if you're like, I really want to do that, but finances are really tight, I am bartering currently with Rebecca Saracita, who is Anita's sister, who's a dog trainer. I'm bartering yoga classes for dog training tips. So there's a way to get this done at no cost to you. If that's something that you want to explore, just reach out to me. We'll figure out a way to make it work.
Yes, and congratulations on your new puppy. Super cute.
Where is the puppy? Lift it up. Let's see it. Oh,
This is Saba. Saba's currently eating one of my yoga blocks.
nice. Where did the puppy come from?
The puppy was a rehoming. She was in a house with a dachshund, and the dachshund was beating her up and not letting her eat.
Ah, all right.
So,
Well, that's nice. A rescue. Awesome.
Yes, so a rescue. Yeah, we have always had rescue putts rescue pups or mutts or however you want to look at it. She's mostly mini Australian Shepherd. So we've been herded a lot lately.
Well, you know what we did? We went out and got a tiger. That was what we've done
stop.
to relieve our stress. We went out and, after watching the Netflix the show last weekend, all 8
watched it.
episodes, we just went out and rescued a
did
cub tiger. And
A liger.
yes, a liger. Well, so where can people go to see all your stuff?
So if you go to www.fmbyogaproject.com and click online classes, it will take you to our streaming site, which you just have to register, create a free account to register, and you can access everything from right there. Hang on a second. I'll show you if this is helpful. Can you see that?
Yeah, very nice.
Nice.
Just yeah, awesome.
Well,
So, yeah, and then they can also reach out to me either through Facebook, our Facebook group, or our Instagram page
Cool.
as well. It's all, if you look up FMB Yoga Project, that's where we're at.
Cool. We'll get all that stuff on our page too, and make sure everybody can find you. And thanks, and have a great weekend. Say hello to the family.
I will. Thank you. Thanks for
Thank
Bye.
you.
Have a great night.
Bye.
Great night.
Night, day. It's night. It's all night. And it's all day. It's all the same to me. I don't even know what day of the
I have
week
to
it
get
is
with
anymore.
her.
So yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, our final guest of the day is he's about to take that bandana and rob a bank with it. Is what I understand. Is that what you're going to do, Eddie?
Well, it's my PPE. You know, Dallas is one of the hot spots now, and I live in a suburb right outside the edge of Dallas, and you know, and so they've recommended now that everybody, you know, cover their face for other people's protection as well as your own.
Now, when you go outside, do you find other people in your neighborhood are also wearing one of those things?
Well, you know, I do see a lot of people are using scarves, and so you know, you have to keep. I'm from the country primarily. I didn't grow up being a city boy, and so I do have a couple of scarves, but I've got several bandanas. But what I do see, I still see lots and lots of people that are wearing these surgical masks, and I just, for the life of me, cannot understand it. I don't know why they don't get the message. You know, all of the health providers everywhere in the country, doesn't matter who you listen to or where you get the information from, there aren't any. There aren't enough to go around. They're running out.
Yeah.
Sterilize the ones that they have. The public needs to quit using them.
Yeah.
If they have unopened boxes, just drop them off at your local hospital, wherever the local hospital is or something.
So anyway, Ed, that's not why we're here to talk about masks and bandanas, and it's a lovely purple shirt you have on there. But the reason we have you on is because you are a resident of some kind of banging noise coming from your phone there. So you're building something out there, but you are a resident of the beach, and you had an idea that you wanted to share with our 9 people that watch. So go right ahead and tell us all about it.
And hopefully other people will watch later on after the show. You had a council person on a couple of weeks ago, and he made a suggestion, and I kind of wanted to follow up on that. And I just briefly, just for a second, I don't want to take up a bunch of time, but there's a phenomenon at the beach that I'm not exactly sure that the part-time residences have thought about it and thought it through. In the retail industry, like at your malls and a lot of your retail centers, and I'm not referring to your everyday suppliers like Walmart and Kroger's and that sort of thing, but I'm referring to specialty retailers. They rely on their season, which is the selling season. The retail season is between Thanksgiving and Christmas. These retailers, these specialty retailers, if they miss that selling season and they didn't have any sales, they would go completely out of business. They rely on that window of retail sales of their season to provide them with the money to make a profit and to cover their overhead for the entire 12 months. These businesses at the beach, it's very similar. They have season. You got season, I think, from January to April. This year they had a couple of months and it's over. and they don't have any way to recover. They're not going to have any way to recover. Here in other areas where the beach is unique, that I would like people to consider also very unique. And I'm sure that there are other places. I'm not saying that they're the only one, but everywhere else in the country, when this is over in 60 to 90 days, and when I say over, it's not ever going to be over, but as it begins to become being over, businesses are going to go back to doing business, and they're going to go back to achieving some type of a normality with their incoming receipts, and their businesses will begin to recover. That's not going to happen. And the restaurant industry here, I include them. The restaurants here probably for the first couple of months will be flooded. I mean, I can't wait to get to my favorite restaurant. But anyway, the beach is going to be unique in the respect that the population is gone. So, or the majority of the population is gone. These restaurants and the retail stores there at the beach, they literally have to sit there and wait till next season. You know, and then how nervous is everyone going to be next season? Are there going to be people that say, well, you know what, I think we'll skip a year and we'll wait and make sure we don't have another pandemic? You know how fearful everyone is all the time about everything, and how that enters their mind, and they're affected by that. And I also want to reach out to a lot of the other people that aren't at Fort Myers Beach, the people that I'm talking to. I understand most of those people have businesses, just as I do. I have a business, and I have already begun to feel the effects of the economic shutdown, and I expect that it will get worse, and that I will have to maneuver my way through trying to figure out how to get it all working again. But as I said, I'm looking forward to the next couple of months. Because I do believe that we will begin to work out of this, and I'll begin to be able to get my business going again.
Mm-hmm.
These people at the beach, on the other hand, I just don't think they're going to have that opportunity. And when it was mentioned, something was mentioned, said, pick you out a business, pick you out a favorite place that you go to, and send them a check for $100,
That was Ray Murphy. Ray Murphy said that on the show 2 weeks ago. Yep.
Oh, okay. All right. And then anyway, I would like to just take that a little bit farther. And I understand that a lot of people, it's going to be hard for a lot of people also with their businesses, but if they could just do what they could, but rather than send a few people a few checks,
mm-hmm.
I don't know how well that would work, because I don't know how anyone knows who got any or who didn't get any. I would suggest that the residents, the part-time residents, if they want to help, that they pick a business and send the same business a check when they can, or whatever they can.
So you're talking about the people like yourself who are now out of town, off the beach, at their full-time homes, picking a business that they love on Fort Myers Beach, and cutting the business owner or the business, in the name of the business, a check for whatever amount they can afford. Is that how I'm reading you?
That's exactly right. But maybe not just one check. It's going to be tough on us too. I'm going to have my own sets of problem also. But that doesn't keep me, and it shouldn't keep other people from trying to help someone that's outside of their own, of their own personal problems. If we all did that,
mm-hmm.
No one would help anyone. We all have problems. We have problems all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We have more problems right now because of the pandemic. But there are people that are going to be suffering and have a lot more problems than the problems that I will have to maneuver my way through. And I really feel like that the businesses there at the beach, and like I said, I'm not saying that they're unique and the only ones. I'm sure there are some other places that are similar, but the situation there at the beach, they're not going to have an opportunity to recover from this. I don't think. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think they're going to have much of an opportunity to recover from this until the following season.
Good idea. It's a good idea.
Simply because of the lack of population. They've lost an enormous amount of their population.
So how do we get your idea moving? What do we do?
You know what? I'm not sure. That's why I wanted to share it with you. I was hoping that people would hear what I had to say and figure it out. I'm not sure exactly. I don't know that I've thought that part of it. I'm not a real big marketing guy.
Did you pick a business yourself and send a check already?
I have not, and I'm gonna tell you why. And I felt like I would probably randomly choose a business. I was in the restaurant business for 14 years before I sold my restaurant, and so I am kind of partial to the restaurant business. Although the restaurant business was not my main business. It was kind of actually, if you want to know the truth of the matter, I bought it on the spur of the moment, and it was kind of a hobby. And I had a lot of fun. I loved it. I loved it, and I had a lot of fun. And but anyway, I've got a soft spot for restaurant owners, small restaurant owners, and I plan on picking a small restaurant owner and sending them a little money, and I'm going to try to continue sending them a little bit of money along the way. And it won't be a lot of money, but if they're lucky and someone else picks them, maybe someone else send them a little money and then send them a little more money along the way. Think about it, Ed. There are not that many restaurants and not that many small retail stores on the island in comparison to the number of people that come there and enjoy all of the things that the Fort Myers Beach has to offer for them to get away and to go on vacation and to have time away from their responsibilities while they're there vacationing. And they're going to be greatly surprised next season when they come, if they come, and a lot of the places that they've enjoyed aren't there.
Well, thank you so much. I think that's a great idea, and we'll keep
spread the word.
We'll keep spreading the word, and
I know where I'm sending my check.
Yeah. And thanks for joining us today.
Well, give me a couple of ideas, Ed. Where are you? I don't really have one specific place, that I've met anyone or made friends with anyone as far as the wait staff or as far as the owner.
Yeah. Beach Talk Radio is where I'm sending my check.
Oh, stop.
I'm kidding. No, I'll send you some ideas, offline there, and I don't want to upset anybody else, but I'll send you my ideas if that works for you.
No, then that's fine. And
all right.
And then someone that's listening or that'll be listening later that is a little more experienced in the marketing end of
get some rolling,
trying to promote something that could help get the idea out to a lot of the part-time property, or they're not part-time property owners or full-time property owners, but they're part-time
right
part-time residencies, right.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Stay
we appreciate
safe.
your idea, and here,
keep your bandana on there,
later,
partner.
Man. Have a great one. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Always a character, that Eddie Rude.
Yes.
It's good to have him on our side.
Yes. Well, I think he makes a good point about the part-time residents and the people who vacation, who have been coming to Fort Myers Beach. We've met lots of them who've come year after year after year. If they have some extra money and are so inclined to either send money directly to the restaurants or the retail stores or their favorite business, or buy gift cards,
gift cards. John's been
the gift cards are a great idea. You can buy them and then use them later.
And he's selling $125 gift cards for $100. That's a pretty good deal.
I think that's great. Get gift
Everybody
cards.
should get on that. Yeah.
Yep. Give them out. Encourage other people to come down.
Yeah, and that's an easy way for people out of town to help, because they can do it right online. They can just pop their credit card in there. But don't forget about the T-shirts. The T-shirts are still being sold. Janine's folks out there. They've raised a ton of money for the people
Yeah.
on the beach. I know it's going great there. And so don't forget the t-shirts. And I also wanted to, before we go, thank the mayor again for everything that she has
Mhm.
done for us over the last few weeks when this whole crap hit the fan and coming on. She was even on last night. If you had a chance to watch the show last night, if not, it's in the video archives. You can watch the mayor address while they had another emergency meeting
Mhm.
on Friday and talk about Governor DeSantis's order. He issued 2 orders, one on TV and then one when nobody was looking, to try and clarify the first one. So I don't know. I think
Well-
he came on so strong with the state and everybody was rah-rahing him. And then it just seemed like he dug his heels in, like he didn't want to close the state. I'm sure there are reasons. It seemed like they're all economic
I mean,
reasons, which you get.
you know-
Everybody, nobody wants to shut down businesses and close the
No.
economy. But every day that the state stayed open, it seemed like the disease was getting worse and more people were getting it, more people were dying. And so I wonder if he'll look back on this a few years from now and saying, I should have done it quicker.
Well, hindsight.
Everybody will. Everybody will.
Hindsight's always 2020. I think everybody is doing the best they can and making the best decision they can with the information they have at the moment. And the information changes moment to moment. So please be kind. Be kind on Facebook. Be kind when you're out at Publix. Be patient when you're trying to get your loans and unemployment.
I'm not going to Publix anymore. No way. I went to Walmart last week but they didn't even wipe down. I thought they were supposed to be wiping down the carts and stuff. It's just like,
Well,
now
they are,
now
but
it's
you know,
everywhere.
you're always welcome to bring your own stuff if you can find it. We currently really need paper towels. So that's what I'm on a quest for.
Where are you going to go? Why
I
don't
don't
we
know.
just order them from Shipped?
I don't know. We'll see how long it takes to
because
get
you
here.
don't want to spend the extra $2.
I don't know. I gotta look into this
$14 a
stuff.
month. All right, everybody. We've been on long enough. We've been on way too many times, and we want to say thank you to everybody. And stay away from me. Stay away from my family, and
Gladly.
stay away from everybody. Damn it! Just stay away. Stay home. Stay away, and drink until you're out of alcohol, if that makes you happy. So take care.
do some yoga.
Yeah, do some yoga. Kylie Morgan did a yoga online.
Yeah.
She had like 300 people
know.
that were following her.
Do
which was
not
kinda cool.
drink though and do yoga.
I know. Have you done that before?
No,
Drink and do yoga. That's,
don't do that.
We'll have to see if they.
Well,
No,
you
I'm
put
gonna
those
leave
two
that out.
together, and I wanted to make sure it was separate.
All right.
All right.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you all for listening and watching, and have a nice day.